Hey guys, Joe back here with Body Lab. Sorry we've been away for a little while, just been enjoying ourselves, a little bit of time off. The first workout we're going to be doing today is bodyweight leg exercises. So we're going to put as many exercises together to train legs as adequately as possible, just using our body weight. I'll show you a few variations if you do have equipment and if you are able to use a gym, but if you're not, this is what this workout's for. So the first exercise we're going to be doing is bodyweight squats. These are essential whether or not you're doing a bodyweight workout or you're able to use equipment. These are a mainstay. So I'm going to walk you through. What we want to do is get our feet in a position either just shoulder width, so from my shoulders straight down, or just out a little bit. You can alter your feet position to make it a little bit more comfortable if you want to turn a little bit out, but make sure you're comfortable. What we want to be doing is going down to at least 90 degrees. So we're dropping down here and then pushing straight through. We're extending our knees fully. We want to make sure we're getting proper depth. So it does not count if you're going here. If you're squatting like this, you're not getting enough out of it. You're not getting the range of motion you should be getting. If you're doing a bodyweight workout, feel free to take the reps a little bit higher. You are going to be getting the blood pumping. It's a big exercise for legs. Once you get around 15 to 20, feel free to go a little bit higher. Try and use that as a standard you can compare in future workouts. Once you got there, you're happy, we're all done. Second exercise we're going to be doing, or the second set we're going to be doing, I'm going to involve goblet squats. So if you do have kettlebells around, what you want to do is bring it safely up, just under your chin, put both your hands around it so you're supporting. There's no asymmetries. You're just going to be doing the same form again. You can have a tendency, doing goblet squats, to lean forward a little bit. So make sure you keep looking ahead. Keep your chin up, your shoulders high. We don't want to be tipping forward too much. So we want to make sure we come down to 90 degrees. Once again, depending on the weight you use and how much resistance, you can alter your reps. Try and get, again, safe 15 to 20 reps. Once you're finished, back to the starting position, safely lower it to the floor, and we're done. The final variation, third set we're going to be doing today, is back squats. So rather than bring the weight here, load it towards the front, we're going to be bringing it behind our heads. Oftentimes you'll do this with a barbell. Today we're going to use it with a sandbag. We're going to get in a comfortable position where we're not overly rotating backwards. We can load the bag pretty much so it's going straight down the centre line of our body, so it's not putting us off by pushing too far back. So we want to get the widest points here. We're going to bring the bag up, deadlift it over your head, and then here. So my head's tilting forward a little bit, just so the bag is the thing that's going straight through the centre line of my body. Once we're in this position, make sure our feet are sorted. Might want to rotate a little bit more, just because we are loading with weight to the back. And we're going again straight down. There's never any excuse not to be going to 90 degrees. If you can't, reassess your form, reduce the weight whenever you need to. For me, this is my favourite form for squat. I do enjoy a nice front-loaded barbell squat, but back squat is back to basics. And again, once you've got your 15 to 20 reps done, depending on weight and load, you're all finished. Take the weight over safely, lower it to the... Okay, for our second exercise today, we're going to be doing lunges. Excellent exercise. You can get a lot out of this without having to use a hell of a lot of resistance. So this is always central to my leg day workouts. I do usually load, but today we're not going to. I'm going to show you three variations. First one is going to be walking lunges. Second one's going to be a reverse lunge, and then we're going with a horizontal lunge, parallel to the floor. So for the first set, we want to choose a space where we've got enough room that we're not bumping into people and getting in people's way, just in terms of etiquette, being a decent gym bro. What we want to be doing is stepping out forwards and making sure our knee doesn't quite touch the floor, so we want to keep constant tension. Once we're up, steady ourselves, and again, you want your rear knee to basically be in line with your ankle. You want to be doing 10 to 20 steps, keeping nice and controlled. By preventing your knee from touching the ground, you're not only keeping constant tension, but you're ensuring that you don't hurt your knee by constantly banging it across against the floor. Once you've got your 10, 20 reps in, you're done. If you do have any other questions about form or best practice, please come down in the comments below. Second variation we're going to be doing for lunges is the reverse lunge. I'm going to show you from two different planes just so you can see. So frontally, what you want to be doing, keeping a fairly narrow shoulder width distance stance. Then we're putting our foot behind us. Again, we want to make sure that knee comes down and it's almost in line with your ankle. Once you've done that, that's half a rep. You've got to make sure you do the left hand side too, and that's one. You're going to be going 15, 20 reps, alternating every rep, because we don't like asymmetries and we don't want to have maladaptive or maldeveloped muscle groups. And if I were to show you from the side, I'm standing straight onto the camera, I'm putting my foot back, I'm lunging down, then we come here. Every rep, reset. Personally, this isn't my favourite. If I was going to be doing a reverse lunge, I'd probably be doing it with a Smith machine, so I can get a little bit of resistance and load it. The final variation we're going to be in for lunges is going to be a side lunge. So here we're doing a very different standing position. We're going to go wide. Now, if you think of your shoulder width stance being here, you probably want to go twice as wide as that on either side. When we're doing the side lunge, we're coming down to one side, lowering our body, putting all the weight over one knee, coming back to a starting position, and the same on the other side. You'll feel a good stretch in your hamstring, your quadriceps, gastrocnemius, which is what you want to get. You can use this exercise to stretch as well, to warm up. There's a bit of mobility. If you want to add a little bit of weight and resistance, feel free. And it's just a fun change of pace from your walking or reverse lunge. Technically, it's a little bit more difficult because there's more balance required. We'll give it a go. Let us know how you get on. So our third exercise is going to be wall sit, and this is easy to perform. All you need is a wall and your body. You don't need any other equipment. What you want to do is make sure your knees are basically at 90 degrees, so perfect squat form. Rest yourself against the wall, don't have your arms supporting you in any way. You'll start feeling contractions in your quads, your calves, a little bit in your glutes and hamstrings, and you just want to support this position without changing too much. Don't fall too deep, don't stand out of it for around 30 seconds to a minute. This is a static hold, so as opposed to the exercise we've done before where you're performing a range of motion, here it's just static. You're just holding yourself in place. Start getting uncomfortable after a little while. It's a leg day equivalent of a plank. So you're in this static hold. Looks like it should be easy. We sit down for hours every day. But when you're supporting your body weight, it gets a little bit less comfortable. If you hold it for long enough, your legs will start shaking. Once you've performed your 30 seconds to a minute, and you're all done, you're happy, you can move out of it, put your arms against the wall, and just support yourself to stand up. So to save you all watching me sit against a wall talking gibberish for a few minutes, I'm only going to do one, but you would perform 3 sets of that normally, with some rest in between. The rest periods you probably want on leg day, 30 seconds to a minute. If you were going to include more resistance-based exercises, you probably want to increase that a little bit more. Legs are some of the biggest muscles of the body, so you want to make sure you're rested for the next set and recuperated. The fourth exercise we are going to be doing today is calf raises. Most guys find it very difficult to grow their calves. If you do it consistently, even just body weight, you can get a hell of a lot of progress. So what we want to be doing, if I show you the first variation, which is just going to be standing, there's no elevation, no decline. We want to be going up onto our toes, pushing through the top of the motion, and then slowly coming back down to the ground. Try as hard as possible to contract your calf muscles. The heavier you are, the more you're going to get out of this. Although that's not suggesting put on a bunch of weight just so you can get more out of your calf raises. Once you've done 10 to 15 reps, take it nice and slow. Focus on the negative aspect of the exercise. That's coming back down to the ground from being almost on point. Ballet dancers among the audience won't like that, but you can change your foot position. So you work slightly different parts of your calf muscle. So you can go straight forward, tilting inwards, and tilting out. And there we go. So the second variation we're going to be doing is being able to push through from a decline position. So we're elevating ourselves. We're going to put our toes towards the back of the board, not so much that we fall off. And what we're going to be doing is making sure our ankles drop below flat, so we've got a greater range of motion, and again we're going to be pushing through to the top. Now some research has shown that the way to get the most out of calf raises is actually to focus on the bottom part of the motion to midway. So if you can load, and push to the midpoint using a little bit more resistance than your body weight, that seems to be the best way. Although you're going to get a lot out of it if you do, in fact, go through the full range of motion. Once you've done your 10 to 15 reps, you focus on the negative aspect consistently. That's it. So the next exercises in this set of calf raises I'm going to show you is a way to artificially increase the amount of resistance you're going to get by modifying your form. So you don't have to use weights, don't have to use dumbbells, barbells, whatever it might be, but you can just increase the amount of resistance you're going to feel. So first one we do is single leg calf extensions. So one leg at a time, you're going to raise the other one up, and you're going to perform exactly the same movement. Try and keep your form the same. It's a little bit more challenging with your balance, but focus on your technique. Again, focusing on the negative, steady yourself if needed. And once you get your 10 to 15, switch, make sure you're doing both sides. We don't want any asymmetries like I've mentioned. My left hand side doesn't seem to have the same balance as my right. While we make our way through it. And by doing this, you're doubling the amount of resistance, because rather than doing it through two muscles, you're doing it through one. So the penultimate exercise we're going to be doing is jump squats. So it's going to be exactly the same form as we did to start off with normal bodyweight squats, but this time we're jumping, we're leaving the ground, and that explosiveness is going to increase the amount of resistance, because we're not just resisting our body, we're actually resisting gravity as well, and we're pushing up. So we get our normal form, stands just outside shoulder width for me is comfortable. We're going to go down to 9 degrees, and we're going to come through. You need to reset yourself, take your time, because it's better than falling over and getting injured. And there we are. The second variation we're going to be doing of our jump squat is box squat. We're going to be jumping this time onto a platform. If you're lucky enough to have one, you can use a park bench, any elevated position. We're doing the same thing, but this time not only are we clearing the ground, we're jumping onto another object. So again, we're increasing the technical difficulty just that little bit, which makes the exercise more challenging, which provides us more opportunity for growth. So we get our stance, 90 degrees, jump onto the box. We're going to step down from it, because if we try and jump and accidentally catch our toes on the edge, we're going to fall over and hurt ourselves. We're working on explosiveness, fine motor movements. Those of you that like more of a challenge, give it a go. We're done. So the final variation we're going to do of jump squats is going to be single leg. Now we are scaling the difficulty level up quite a bit here. We're just going from one leg. If you are brave enough to go all the way down to 90 degrees, fair enough, then you're going to jump, land on top of the box. This can be difficult, so try single leg jump squats to start off with. If you're comfortable with that, you can use another elevated platform, just increase the difficulty again. So if I'm going to demonstrate single leg jump squat, and then we'll escalate onto a box squat. So come down. Off one leg. Once you've got a few reps done, onto your left. And then if we escalate the difficulty, increase that a little bit, come down again, and jump. Braver men than me can try a pistol squat into a box jump. Make sure no asymmetries, inequalities in the muscle development. To the left. God, I made that look difficult. So the sixth and final exercise we're going to be doing, leading on quite nicely from single-legged squat jumps, box jumps, is Bulgarian split squats. So we take a similar form here and similar approach to your lunges, where you can have one leg out front that's going to take most of the weight, most of the load, and the other leg's going to be supported at the back of us. The best way I find to perform this exercise, the box behind me is a little bit high. For what you want, a normal bench is fine. We're going to put one leg out front, the other leg behind us. Just want to catch your ankle on the bend of the box or bench, whatever you're using. Get in a comfortable position, usually around the pace out from the box. We're going to come down. We're trying to get to 90 degrees on our front weight loaded leg. The other leg behind us bends to get in a comfortable position, and you're just going to extend from here. Make sure you're doing the same amount of reps for both legs, and switch over once you've done 10 to 15. And then you switch over to your left leg, same again, right out front. Once you finish the same amount of reps, no asymmetries, all done. So now we're doing our second set. What I always advise, if you're doing asymmetric exercises, so you're doing one leg, one arm, one side at a time, always alternate between sets, so you give the same amount of effort into both. You're not just always performing the same one first, which means my right leg's going first. Get in a comfortable position, shimmy a little bit. We come down low, 90 degrees, in our weight loaded leg, the front one. And what we're doing is focusing on extending in a squat form. So you are using the dominant leg muscles of your leg, your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes. You should be able to feel all of those muscles contract as you're performing it. Into the same form again. If you can't feel any particular muscle, it may be it's fatigued if you're later on into a session. If that isn't the case, just get someone to check your form or record yourself, because you might notice something that you're doing wrong or something you might need to slightly adjust. And there we go, second. Final set of our Bulgarian split squats. So left foot forward again. Comfortable position. Here we go. You're in a full range of motion, making sure you're getting to your 90 degrees. This essentially is a slightly more difficult squat because you're using predominantly one leg at a time. Finally finishing off, and this is the end of the workout for how to use body weight to get through a leg day. We've made sure we're focused on our quads, hamstring, glutes and calves, so you're getting everything out of it. Leave nothing behind.